Have you ever thought in your mind, my life is not worth living? As of recent, it has been very challenging behind the chair at the salon of witnessing so many of my clients laying loved ones to rest, in which some of them are with the capital word S, suicide. And so, if 1 in 4 young individuals have thought about suicide in the last 90 days, and antidepressants are up 600%, there's obviously division and separation. We've got addiction to technology that leaves us feeling empty. So there's all of these stages to life. And based on my client interaction of 21 years, I see in cycles, both with a client work and my spiritual work. But let's take a deep breath for a moment and talk about conscious awareness. We first have to understand that if we really sit down and get honest with ourselves, a life lived without conscious awareness feels very painful. It's very isolating. And true satisfaction is not happening by chance. It honestly comes from a deliberate choice to design a life that mirrors the feelings and the desires we want to feel. Often, our suffering originates from unconscious decisions. We're a victim. We're in the shadow archetypes. It's injustice, right? All of these things shape our outcome. But if we remember that your feelings aren't just random, they are signals that are reinterpreting the reality you created. So the emotions then that are surfacing are the feelings that need to be healed. And they come and ebb and flow in your life. So just the recognition where you see that you have them coming in, to connect with them, that is where we actually are connecting truly to source. So if I awaken to the choices that I make, I awaken by understanding that everything is happening is exactly as it should. Then I awaken by releasing any resistance, surrendering fully to that. That is what heals the core and brings about the transformation. So, however, if you focus solely on the pain you feel, you may miss that deeper divine reality waiting to emerge from source, connected to source. So, really, then consider that. What do you gain by holding on to this bleak view of situations, such as the end of your life? And how can we bring ease to suffering? Because suffering, unfortunately, is inevitable. It is a path chosen unconsciously from very low vibration thinking. So you might not even realize that these feelings are even keeping you stuck. Instead, you're fighting them when you could simply surrender to them, when you realize that this is shaping your reality. So a life lived unconsciously is the suffering. It is being blown in the wind. It is a life undefined. It is a life really, truly not yours. But a conscious life feels directed. It feels empowered. It feels aligned. And that's step by step, moment to moment, thought by thought. Moving on to this separation and the division. When you focus only on your immediate human experience, you start to narrow down your awareness. While the human eye sees only what it's immediately in front of it, it is that divine sense that feels deeply, knowing exactly where it is, where it wishes to go, and the best way to get there. So consciousness starts to wake up to direct your focus. So one perspective that leaves you stuck and the other one sets you free. Suffering as an invitation is simply to want to be healed. It's an experience that when we shift out of suffering, we actually can see the release of the healing. It allows you to bring that divinity, divine flow to that shadow archetype in those moments of pain. And it has to happen through conscious awareness because suffering isn't a punishment. It's claiming the victim. And when we heal it, we open ourselves up. That's where the greater abundance comes in, and it's mostly not money. So if you find yourself suffering, Understand why. And that it is a sign that there's little sleepy parts of the soul that are just wanting to be woken up. And when we wake up and recognize that you are the creator, you don't judge yourself, that you just look at the reality and you start to realize that you want to stop the endless feedback loops. These are the subtle signs. So when we ignore the bigger lessons, we miss out on life experiences and we just simply recreate the same patterns over and over again. And so instead of refusing support from other people, refusing the loving guides and spirit guides in your life, embrace that uncertainty because that is the answer. You're not lost. And by becoming aware of your current situation is the very thing that allows the divine to come in. And we realize that we are not weak, but we are strong. And we can really bring in that transformational flow of energy, that circuit of energy, that chi that comes in through evolution, through potential, power, and purpose. And that's when we realize that love isn't something you find, it's something that you are. That is the revolution. And so if you stop seeking that validation, and we get grounded in who you are as pure light, you become the channel of grace. You become the revelation of your soul as you are connected with Source, and you find your place of power and empowerment. So you have a choice, unconscious or conscious. And when you make the unconscious conscious, it's just an opportunity, a spark of light that you're connected to the divine, to pay attention to allow it to release. And that's true power. All my love, all my light.